My name it is Sam Hall, and I hate you one and all, and I hate you one and all. Damn your eyes!
All right, cue the music on that one.
Oh yeah.
It's a Joe, Frank, Chris, and Neil with all great movies. They are the real deal. We watch them all, so you don't have to. It's movies that don't suck and some that do.
Welcome to another episode of Movies Don't Suck and Some Do. My name is Neil.
Hey, and I'm Chris. And I'm Chris.
And with us today is the great, the legendary, the man, the myth. He survived a hurricane to be here, the one and only Mr. Mark Radulich.
I'm Mark, and it's 2 hurricanes. I've come to believe that I rented a house for my girlfriend to live in. I live at my place of business now. I live at the jail. I've had to do two sequesters in less than a month.
Oh, wow. Wow, I don't even know how that would go.
And it's like being at a really shitty college.
So anyone I went to, okay.
Yeah, I have my air mattress, I have my power strip, my CPAP, my devices, and I just, when I'm not seeing inmates for mental health reasons, I just chill out in my bunk on my air mattress. I'm like, what are you gonna do? They're paying me to sleep. Yeah. They're paying me to sleep.
That's good. I mean, yeah. Were you? I don't know what they do at the correctional facility when there's a hurricane. What do they do? They just.
I mean, basically, it's business as usual until the winds are past a certain mile per hour, and it's not safe to go outside. Though I will tell you, one particular inmate it was about 11 o'clock, I think. And the winds were really bad, and it was really raining. Like the hurricane was pretty much just about to make landfall if it hadn't already. We had been getting bands, and the winds were picking up really badly. Destruction was starting to happen, and one particular inmate did not get the right medication they were supposed to, or got someone else's medication, as is wont to happen in the correctional facility, and OD'd.
Oh fuck!
Wow.
Yeah, and so in the middle of the prologue to this hurricane that was happening, the paramedics who were on duty at the time had to go out in the hurricane and go provide life-saving medical services to this person. So, it's all fun and games, but that's the reality. But that's why we're retained. That's why we're essential. We have to provide life. I mean, I don't do shit, but we have to provide life-saving medical services for people even during a natural disaster.
Wow. Okay, now with all of that, we're here today to review 2 movies. Mark has survived all of that just to be here to talk movies. How about that?
And I'm not crazy at all.
All right, the first movie
How has the water, Mama? Sorry, I'm done now.
All right, the first movie that we're covering today is featuring Brad Pitt and George Clooney is called Wolves. First, of course, the legend, the man, the myth, the most beautiful man that ever did cinema, Mr. George Clooney.
We got a bunch of fucking vampires out there trying to get and suck our fucking blood. And that's it, plain and simple. I don't want to hear anything about, I don't believe in vampires. Because I don't fucking believe in vampires, but I believe in my own 2 eyes, and what I saw is fucking vampires. Now, do we all agree that what we are dealing with is vampires?
Yes.
You too, preacher?
I don't believe in vampires, but I believe in what I saw.
Good for you.
Yeah, from dusk till dawn. But there were 2 scenes that I was finding for, and I decided not to go.
Fucking A, right?
Not to go with the word you're talking about. Yeah. All right, what else?
And of course,
that's a good clip.
Also his hetero life mate, the one and only Brad Pitt.
For one people. It's a myth created by Thomas Jefferson. Oh, now you never go with Jefferson, huh? My friend, Jefferson is an American saint because he wrote the words, all men are created equal. Words he clearly didn't believe since he allowed his own children to live in slavery. He was a rich wine snob who was sick of paying taxes to the Brits. So yeah, he wrote some lovely words and aroused the rabble, and they went out and died for those words. Well, he sat back and drank his wine and fucked his slave girl. This guy wants to tell me we're living in a community. Don't make me laugh. I'm living in America, and in America, you're on your own. America's not a country. It's just a business. Now fucking pay me.
Neil, where's that from?
Out of all the fucking clips of Brad Pitt that exist in the world, I mean, you could just like giving us the rules for Fight Club, which is less than like 30
I
seconds.
didn't want to do that. I guess we've done that before.
I was waiting for Fight Club or something from Ocean's or one of the Ocean's movies.
Or 12 Monkeys or something.
Maybe him just chewing on food, which is all he does in those movies. It's fucking eating.
Oh my gosh. Oh. All right. Also in this movie, Amy Ryan.
I cannot keep myself from Michael. Everything he does is sexy. He has this undeniable animal magnetism. He's a jungle cat. The man exudes sex. He can put both his legs behind his head.
From The Office. And we want to just know that one.
The Wire season 2. Come on.
Come on. Where are you at with these clips today, bro? And also in the movie, Austin Anders.
So I told you I loved you. I got you to make that video. And then I sent it to the entire school. I'm gonna go back to my party now, and I'm gonna do fucking coke off a girl's butthole. Or a belly or something. I don't know. All right. Well, bye, Dre.
Yeah, there we go. From Do Revenge.
Nice.
Yeah, we didn't we reviewed that movie?
Yeah, we did. We liked it too. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a really good movie if you ever saw it. But that is the actors in the movie Wolves, and then the movie that everybody's waiting to talk about in this room right here. Because I mean, every time you guys say something bad, I'm just gonna pull up another Joker comic and I'm gonna read it instead of paying attention to anything that you guys do. Because of how great this movie is going to be that we're going to talk about. And that is Joker Folie A Deux. Folie A Deux.
That sounds right.
And the movie is the one and only, the greatest version of the Joker to date, Mr. Joaquin Phoenix.
You have a problem with Thomas Wayne?
Yes, I do. Have you seen what it's like out there, Murray? Do you ever actually leave the studio? Everybody just yells and screams at each other. Nobody's civil anymore. Nobody thinks what it's like to be the other guy. You think men like Thomas Wayne ever think what it's like to be someone like me? To be somebody but themselves? They don't. They think that we'll just sit there and take it like good little boys, that we won't werewolf and go wild.
Yeah, from Joker, obviously. Where
so is that Joker from Joker? Is that Joker from like the original Joker? Or is that a Joker from like a Joker version of the Joker in the animated Joker reverse?
It was the, what was that, 2-3 years ago when the like, Joker and Todd Phillips one came out?
It's from Fiddler on the Roof.
That's also in this movie, the great Harley Quinn herself, Lady Gaga.
I don't consider myself a particularly ethical person, but I am fair. What I cannot wrap my head around is people who steal just for ego or the pleasure of it, for personal satisfaction.
Yeah, I just picked that one. I don't know why. Like it was.
That's from House of Gucci, right?
Yeah, House of Gucci. She was like one of the reasons that movie actually worked really well.
So Alexis and I reviewed House of Gucci, and we talked for quite some time about the sex scene, and that which was like 2 dogs and a piece of meat. It was just like that was not how people sex, not in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite actors is in this movie.
I did. We saw it, and it was there.
One of my favorite actors is in this movie, Mr. Brandon Gleeson.
Brendan.
I just,
that's what I said.
Just have this tremendous sense of time slipping away in me, Porrick. And I think I need to spend the time I've left thinking and composing. Just trying not to listen to any more of the dull things that you have to say for yourself. But I'm sorry about it. I am like.
From Banshees of Inisherin.
So we talked about that on our Oscar preview podcast. We've started doing a yearly Best Picture show. We dedicated an entire segment to it, and a subsect of that segment, which Alexis almost walked off the show, is me and Robert just talking about our friendship. That's what that movie got at. More particularly because the Banshees of Inisherin, or as we like to call it on that show, the Banshees of Ed Sheeran, caused Robert to have an existential crisis.
Oh my!
Like if you watch our show and you're just like Mark's so lively and fun, he actually likes stuff, but Robert's the dull doldrums. Like you got to see him on shows where he actually shows his real boy side. That was one of them, and to the point where Alexis is it was one of those shows where kind of Alexis feels like the lone straight girl in a threesome with two gay guys. She's like, why am I even here?
And also in this movie is the lovely Catherine Keener.
Ride a bike because I like to. Einstein rode a bike.
He had a wife who he fucked, by the way. What do I have to do for you to have sex with me? Do you want me to dress up like Thor? I'll dress up like Thor. I'll dress up like Iron Man. What do they do? I'll do it.
What? Everything's always about sex.
Why do you want to have sex with me? Why not? Tell me. You tell me the truth. Is it because I have a kid who has a kid? Is that why?
Yeah, from 4-year-old version.
I mean, I always wondered about that movie why she went straight to the male character. She didn't say dress up like Supergirl or Wonder Woman.
Right.
It's like, you want me to dress like Thor? You want me to dress like Iron Man?
Like you're kind of gay, right? Do you like this? This is how you like it?
All right, Chris, tell everybody where they can find us.
You can find us on movies.don't.suck.net. We're at facebook.com/podcast. We're on X and TS Podcast. We're on Instagram at TS Podcast. We're w2mnet.com. It's W2. Movies.net.com. You find us there with a bunch of other really cool podcasts. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/movies.don't.suck. Go to Blackwood Dash Productions at T Public. You'll find shirts with this logo on it. Go to Bonfires Movies Don't Suck and Sneed. You'll find other shirts with this logo on it. You guys want a sticker? I still got tons of those. They look like this. Just send us the message, email, whatever, and we'll go ahead and we'll send that your way. I pay postage because I have no life. And then also you can find us anywhere you find podcasts. You can find podcasts, find movies that don't suck and some that do. What are you doing there?
I'm playing with my comics.
Are you okay? All right. We got some more titles we're talking about today, Neil. Who helping out?
Oh, we got a sponsor. Yes, we do. It is Means Public House.
What is wrong with you?
Because I was just in Atlanta, and these guys, man, it's Sunday. We're not used to Sundays. But Meehan's Public House. Meehan Public House is in Atlanta, Georgia, 200 Peachtree State, North out. I was hungover as heck after going to Bad Blood. And I was just walking down the road, and I looked to the right, and I was like, "Oh, a pub." I walk into this place, and it literally would look like a dirty, dirty pub from the good old Chicago, like where I'm from. It was like, so it just reminded me. But the food was ridiculous. They had mac and cheese. They had hot wings. Where's my picture? I have a picture of my plate. There we go. Shepherd's pie with the Guinness is exactly what I had because, I'm about as Irish as F. They have all kinds of food, all kinds of places. They are the local public house in downtown. That's an Irish eatery that offers a full menu of classic Irish dishes, elevated to the gourmet level with over 4,000 square feet to spare. Meehan's is the perfect place to gather for a quick lunch or after work pints. And if you go in there, ask for Steven. Steven is the dude. He hooked me up. He gave me a free shot of JMO. Like, I hope I don't get him fired for that. But again, if you want to look them up, they're in Atlanta. They're Meehan's Public House. You can go to their Facebook at Meehan's Downtown, or you can go to their website, Meehan's Public House.
I was at a clothing optional resort here in Florida between hurricanes, watching a Guns N' Roses cover band during Bad Blood.
Please call their like Pistols and Pedals or something.
Shotguns and Roses.
Shotguns and Roses.
Guns N' Roses cover band I've seen in that many years. But my question to you is, how was, in 50 words or less, how was Bad Blood?
It was amazing, not just because of the pay-per-view, but afterwards we ended up at a pub with Drew McIntyre, hanging out with him until 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I can't tell you more about that on camera because they made it very clear that we were not to talk
My
about
ex-wife would have sexually assaulted him in the bar. That was like, for a while, that was like her hall pass.
The more drinks he had, he kept on showing me the staples. He showed it right in my face, like 4 times, 4 or 5 times.
I want to see how he busted me open. I got color.
he's like, and I was like, I don't know if you know this, but you might have a concussion, bro. Like, because you told me this like 4 times.
That's amazing.
But so many, and it was like so many wrestlers that came in with them that were like that work as agents there, like Abyss, Drake Maverick, JD from TNA, like literally this whole list of people I could go through, and we're just like, how are we the only people in here hanging out with this
that used
whole
to be
group
like
of
the
WWE
trick
guys?
to going to the Marriott after shows at the Nassau Coliseum or even the Garden, because apparently that's where the wrestlers would stay. So if you went to the bar at the Marriott in Uniondale, Long Island, you'd see all the wrestlers back in the day.
Yeah. It was weird. It was a coincidence. But yeah, the pay-per-view itself was amazing too. But I gotta meet Green Shirt Guy, and I'm the other Green Shirt Guy.
So speaking of the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was doing an impromptu wrestling podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of staples, this weekend I watched the Vice's Dark Side of the Ring for New Jack.
Oh. That has it. We don't talk about New Jack.
Fair, just that
was crazy. To murder a guy for almost killing him.
Yeah.
He murdered some people. But all right, guys, let's talk about him. Let's get into it.
Wolves. All right, Wolves, directed by Jon Watts. You guys probably know Jon Watts. If I can get my fucking mouse to work, excuse me. Jon Watts. It's loading now because I thought I had this shit loaded up before I came. Jon Watts has directed such things as Cop Car. You guys remember Cop Car? That's a great movie. Spider-Man: No Way Home, and this is his newest one. Wolves. This is starring George Clooney as Margaret's man.
We got a bunch of fucking vampires out there trying to get in here.
And Brad Pitt as Pam's man.
We're one people. It's a myth created by Thomas Jefferson.
Amy Ryan as Margaret.
I cannot keep myself from Michael.
And Austin Abrams as just Kid.
So I told you I loved you.
This also stars God, I can't stand it. Porna Jagnathan as June. Alfred Cho as Chinatown Lookout. Vladimir Sizov as Dimitri's bodyguard. Neil, why don't you go ahead and read the storyline for Wolves?
2 rival fixers cross paths when they're both called in to help cover up a prominent New York official's misstep. Over one explosive night, they'll have to set aside their petty grievances and their egos to finish the job. I feel like that's every movie the 2 of them are on, right?
Yeah.
They got to put their egos aside to finish the job. Never mind.
Or Brad Pitt has to put his sandwiches aside to finish the job.
Nachos.
I have to
I need nachos
do a long road tour
and
in the Ocean's movies where I will continually make that joke.
I think we should list everything he's eaten in the movie.
I want to know why. That was the thing they went with in the Ocean's movies. Like, if we could just have skinny ass Brad Pitt fucking eating in every scene, that'd be great.
Just to give us hope that we eat that can look like
Chris,
him.
Yeah, really.
I really like this movie. I thought it was I thought this movie was really fun.
Okay, so a couple of things. One, this was originally supposed to have a wide release in theaters, and they fucking yanked that shit. I'm sure some of it was after what Argyle went through, where Argyle tanked.
Yeah.
And it did fine once it was on streaming, but it did not draw a crowd to the theaters. Nothing does. You know, unless it's Deadpool with Wolverine. You know, or an animated feature that isn't gay. So, you know, like, nothing is drawing a crowd right now. And I can see why they got cold feet after Argyle. My second to that and related to it, so I had no interest in this movie, to be honest with you. I didn't care one way or the other.
Yeah.
It wasn't on our list of things to talk about, regardless of whether it went straight to Apple Plus or it went to wide release. My son, however, and there's a point that I'm trying to make here, my son saw the trailer for this in one of the 87 movies we went to this year and was like, Dad, this looks amazing. Take me to see Wolves. And I went, okay, sure. I made sure I put it on my calendar. I made sure I marked the date, followed it when they pulled it from the theaters and put it on Apple Plus. You know, made sure it was a week that I had him. And I was like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to watch this movie. I sent my girlfriend out of the house, me, him, and his sister all camped out on the couch, and we watched this. And when it was over, we both went, that trailer lied to us. That trailer made that trailer, which caught the attention and the heart of a 10-year-old boy who wanted action, comedy, zest, verve. Those I like those on a woman. And then we saw the movie Johnny Dangerously. Come on, guys. And then we saw the movie, and we were like, that was not nearly as fun as the trailer led us to believe it would be. And that's my whole thing with this movie. I'll take a breath so that you guys can chime in. But, like, one, this is the kind of movie that would have been a big hit 30 years ago. This would have been a modest hit with two bankable,
it's an old-fashioned movie.
Stars. Right. Because it probably had a modest budget, not counting, like, the actor salaries. Like, I don't think that they spent a lot on shooting this thing. It would have drawn an adult crowd. People would have, enjoyed it, would have made its money back, and we would have moved on with our life. There's no room in the theaters for this sort of thing now. I'm not surprised it went straight to streaming. But also, like, I don't know what Jon Watts was going for with this movie, because the trailers would have you believe it's kind of an action comedy. It's going to be a little slapsticky. George Clooney and Brad Pitt are going to pinch and tickle each other's nipples. And then you watch it, and it's slow, it's drawn out, it's talky, but kind of in a circular sense. And it feels like there are movies that can get away with this. This one fails at it. There are movies that can get away with the actors know what's going on. The characters in the movie, they have an idea of what's going on. The audience is completely fucking lost, but you're so involved in what's happening, you'll go along for the ride for the big reveal at the end and go, aha, satisfying ending. This one loses you immediately and never takes you back, and the ending isn't satisfying.
So,
I have to agree with you.
Sorry,
are we talking over each other?
No, it's just I think there's a delay.
Okay.
I think there's a delay.
There is a delay, Neil.
Can we come back to you?
Poor Neil.
So I don't know if I enjoyed this, but it might have to do with I watched an hour after I saw Joker 2, so
that's
maybe
fair.
That had something to do. Yeah,
I would have enjoyed a root canal at the Joker. Go ahead, Neil.
So I have to agree with a lot that you said there, because I really feel like this was all like they just based it on the fact that Brad Pitt, George Clooney. Of course, go see this because it's Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and there wasn't a lot of I wanted this to be better than what it was. Like there was no stuff. There seems like a lot of parts there was no substance. It was like I don't know if they even had a script at certain parts. I think they just said, "Hey, you guys are both on the screen. Why don't you guys just talk to each other?
just
and your
riff.
characters, just riff." Like because I felt like several scenes like that were like that, and then even when they had the scenes with that kid who Austin Abrams, literally, I think he was in the scene just didn't know what to say because he's in front of George Clooney and Brad Pitt, two of the biggest names in cinema history. So I think he was confused, and that's what it kind of looked like on the screen as their characters. Everybody was confused on what to say.
Yeah,
I don't know if
Yeah, like he was the straight girl in a threesome with two gay guys. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
It's not gay if it's in the
So
yeah.
When I was a kid, I always wondered why the leads in movies look so old, right? And now I realize that's because they're old, like these two people, right? So,
dude, my kids were so
they
funny.
look
They're
fine.
like, how old is Brad Pitt? 100? And I was like, Jesus, Lily.
105.
And so, I actually enjoyed this movie, and I told Mark that I saw it like an hour after I saw Joker 2, so that might have something to do with me enjoying this more. It's kind of hard not to be wrapped up in the charisma of George Clooney and Brad Pitt, because I didn't see them as Mark Radulich. I saw them as George Clooney and Brad Pitt, giant movie stars. I do agree that it got a little slow, but I did enjoy my time with this. It was something I'm going to remember.
Movie.
Yeah, I didn't have too many gripes with it. Not that it was great. Like 10 minutes later after I walked, I turned it off. I barely remembered it, but I do remember enjoying my time watching this.
That's the problem. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Like, this is a good movie. It's an entertaining movie. It's just not super entertaining. It's nothing like, of course you remembered Ocean's 11 after, because they did that awesome epic scheme that literally afterwards you're like, how did they really, like, you thought of that, but like this was not clever enough. It didn't have enough. It didn't have enough wit to it.
This, I don't want to go over what's becoming for me, I think, a low-hanging fruit kind of standby thing that I say about everyone. So I don't want to take away the power of this phrase by saying, was this directed by an autistic person? But it does. But it does feel. This doesn't feel like it was directed by somebody who doesn't understand people. This one felt like it was directed by artificial intelligence. Like,
there we go. I agree with that. Right, boom, out the park, bro.
The script and the directing very much felt like if you fed ideas to an AI and said, generate me a movie, this is what it would give you.
The problem is, I really liked Cop Car, which Jon Watts did before. Cop Car, that's a pretty fucking, to me, that's a pretty good movie. And then he did I think all 3 Spider-Man movies and came back to non-IP with this. But it does feel like IP, this movie. You know what I mean? It feels like something that's been made before, and this is like the sequel or whatever. And
hey, I got an idea for a movie. Brad Pitt, George Clooney.
Here's the thing. Like that whole opening sequence goes on way too long with Amy Ryan.
Yes.
They should have gotten to the setup of these two guys are professional criminals. They don't like each other, but they gotta work together because a guy is alive when he should have been dead. Hilarity ensues.
Yeah.
I wonder what the 80s trailer for this would look like.
10 minutes we needed to get there. We got there in 45. Like, what the fuck were we doing in this movie?
Yeah, and when you find out like the intrigue part of it, you find out who the kid actually is. You're like, oh, this is what this is. Like, you're kind of you're underwhelmed, and like I said, and you expect this kid to be something else, and he has apparently amazing integrity when it comes to his body, but and then it turns into kind of like a we're looking after this child, which is kind of
it's 2 men and a baby.
Yeah.
This will be the last thing I say, because I know Neil is always like itching to move us out of the actual review. But there was no fun to be had here, and that's the thing. Like, it was like they cut the trailer to say, here's a slapsticky action comedy with these 2 mega stars, and they don't like each other, and they're going to poke each other in the eye, Three Stooge style. And then you watch it, and it's so much more serious and dramatic. This shouldn't be the bar to which you should judge movies, but try to hear my point on this. My kids wanted to see this because they thought it was going to be a lot more fun than it actually was. When it was over, like, we were going to do a double feature. We were going to do that and LOL with Miley Cyrus and Demi Moore. I will talk about that tomorrow. But my point is, like, by the there's a whole triple feature I'm doing on French movies that have American remakes. That's one of them. The other one is Blame It on Rio.
Nice.
Anyway, but my point is, like, we got to the end of Wolves, and both my kids were like, "Fuck off, we're going to bed." Like that movie hurt us as children, and we're done now. Good night. I'm like, all right. So yeah, like, it's, to Chris's point, it's a well-made action drama. It's a poor comedy, and that's what it was sold as, and that's kind of my gripe with this movie. But other than that, it felt soulless. It felt like, again, I say artificial intelligence because it just doesn't feel like it had that extra layer of humanity that makes us remember films and turns us into dorky podcasters. Like, it's missing that. Like I really wanted to come on here and talk about it, and then I saw it and I was like, yeah, if I miss this, I'm not going to cry. But Spectrum restored my internet, so here I am.
Directed, written by ChatGPT. So,
yes.
On that note, Chris, what's your score for this?
3.7, maybe. That's what I'm at. Like in that one, I liked it, but I liked it more than you guys did. But I wasn't offended by it. But again, I never saw the trailer. I had no fucking clue what this movie was when I walked into it. I hadn't seen trailers for it or anything like that. So
when we're done here, can you please go on YouTube and go look at a couple of trailers and then get back to me, because I need reassurance that I'm not a lunatic, or my son isn't a lunatic either.
Neil, what you got?
I think I'm going to give us like a 3.4. Like, again, it was just so underwhelming. Like, it should have been better. You got two of the major stars of Hollywood, and you're giving them the rings to actually do something. This just needed to be better written or something. Like, it didn't seem like they knew what to do with each other. And that sucks, because this is two legendary. This is like having, two legendary actors, like, just there.
I'm gonna help you because you're a wrestling Chris. Just let me and Neil kind of.
Yeah.
This is like, what if Sean and Brett, but Pat Patterson wasn't there to tell them what to do.
Gosh.
This is Sean and Brett calling it in the ring, and they keep punching each other in the face because they don't have a script to work with. They don't have a Pat Patterson telling them when to go home. So there's just fucking going, and it's awkward. And it's not really moving at the pace that it should. Like, they're getting all their shit in, but it feels off.
Yeah. It just feels off. It just feels off a little bit.
I'm going to give it 2 hurricanes and a tornado.
Okay, sounds good.
Chris, not give a fuck what I say anymore. Like, whatever, man.
For all you guys that are just now listening or joining, Mark doesn't go by any of our rating system whatsoever.
I refuse it.
And
Winfrey played along,
and again, he did survive two hurricanes, to be honest.
So I'm stoked. I mean, I'm glad he's here. Really,
Winfrey's a rule follower, and he wants to be liked. I could give a fuck less, and I'm a punk.
Punk rock.
So I'm on RottenTomatoes.com. Neil, what is the popcorn meter for this one?
It's going to be like 41.
That's 49%. So
can't you just say audience score like a?
I'll do that now. Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
What's
I hate the popcorn.
I refuse to say it.
Yeah, when did you start saying popcorn? You always said audience, of course.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes.
Are you drunk? Sir, put down the liquor. No more drugs for you.
This is just hint. Anyway, Neil, what's the critic score for Wolves?
That's going to be 39%.
67%. Right?
Really?
Critics' consensus is George Clooney and Brad Pitt's professional star power gives the Wolf zip even when it cycles through cliches of the fiction genre, making for a pleasing and slick throwback. I'll read a good review and a bad review because there's plenty of both. Sorry guys, I had this like loaded up and okay. This is gonna be from Tim Cogshell of Film Week. He says, "This is fairly entertaining. Apple TV is the exact right place for it." Which that says is a glowing review, but it's not really. This is from Michael Cook of KR TV. Says, "Love seeing the banter between these two. and their romance chemistry that runs all the cylinders. However, the movie surrounding them is not particularly interesting, and it creaks along, which was one of your points over there, calling it slow. So it's fine.
Hey! We can't call people slow anymore, dude. I think it's part of the thing. You can't call them slow.
Neil, I'm not gonna put bite on that one, but
no, Neil.
Wolf,
no.
You guys can find it on Apple TV if you guys really want to see it. You don't have to rush to see it. Me and Neil.
You don't have to see this movie. Fuck this movie. Moving on.
Moving on. Let's get into some news.
All right, you got news, all right?
This is The Movies Don't Suck and Some of Them News. We're going to just say a couple stories because Mark's here and he's going to talk for 4.5 hours on every subject.
These are few healthy.
I honestly wish that I tried to start conversations. I tried to start conversations with Neil about news. He's like, moving on. I'm like, okay. I just have a comment about it.
All right, I'll just give one-word answers.
No. We got real. I just made a couple small ones. I grabbed a couple small ones. First one right off the back is it's been confirmed Robert Downey Jr. is not the only Doctor Doom there will be multiple Doctor Dooms throughout the series because they are trying to replace the Council of Kongs. Kangs. I'm sorry.
Council of Kongs. That would be better.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who else should play Doctor Doom if it's not just going to be the good old Robert Downey Jr.?
I mean, they're doing the multiverse thing, right? So, like, they could do whatever they want. You know, it would be funny if they brought in Jonathan Majors.
Why don't they bring in P. Diddy while they're at it?
P. Diddy! Him and his buddy Donald Trump can hang out together.
Can I tell you how annoyed I was when they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom? I'm like, oh my God, we are completely out of ideas. It's like we have two buttons at Disney. Put a chicken and make it gay, one button. The other button, original Marvel cast. That's it. That's all we got.
Get the regular backs. Also, making her film return an actress. Oh, I'm sorry. We must be on loop. That's okay. Edit that out and continue. We're that far behind, really?
I think Chris froze.
Neil, you're cutting in and out. I don't know what's going on. I'll be back.
Okay. So, okay. There we go.
All right. Good?
Oh, did Neil leave?
I hear you just fine.
I thought it was just me. You're okay.
All right.
He was cutting out, right? It wasn't just me.
Yeah, just go for it.
This might actually be my connection on this one, so I'm gonna wait till Neil comes back.
Okay, we were talking about the Doctor Doom.
I don't know.
Neil, you were starting to say something.
Oh yeah, I was moving on, but yeah, I was waiting. Then Chris jumped in. I was trying to listen to what he had to say about it.
Oh, well, I mean, about what?
Wow.
All right,
Chris, can you not understand me at all? Are you not listening to any of the words I say?
No, I'm leaving.
One,
I'm two.
Yeah, that's how long that took you. That took you almost a minute to answer. And I just reloaded twice. So
come back.
It has to be on your side.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
How was Russell?
How hard? You know how hard it is to have a conversation with it? It's like a minute and a half past.
So I've been going through my old Blog Talk Radio stuff, and towards the end of our Blog Talk Radio run, which is why we switched to Spreaker, because it was the audio only days. Our last dozen shows or so are just me cutting in and out and Jesse trying to figure out the fuck I'm saying. So yeah, I do understand.
All right, one.
Two.
Okay, again, that was like a minute, dude. One.
Two.
Three.
Four.
Wow. All right, I'll redo it this time. Maybe I'll.
God fucking damn it.
What were you trying to say about Dr.
This is so. I don't even remember now because I'm so frustrated by this. But I don't like if they're making it seem like it's a legacy film again, or having these old actors come in. Like that was something that's been big these past, I guess, 10 years, bringing these original people back to the fold. But I don't fucking know what they're doing. Like it's.
Well,
Marvel used to have these really fresh ideas.
They're trying to not make the Marvels again. That's what
and now they're going to this. I'm sure we'll switch for Easties.
An actress that we all forgot about is making her return now, talking about actresses coming, people coming back from the day, and she is getting award buzz already. So the actress that we've all waiting for to hit the silver screen again, Miss Pamela Anderson, is already getting award buzz for a movie called The Last Showgirl, which is already being fished out to the film festivals and is giving big buzz. She's also going to be in Naked Gun next summer too.
I'm all about. If I don't do it on my show, I will be coming here to talk about The Last Showgirl. Promise me, Neil. Promise me.
100%. You got it.
Okay.
So if you don't know, the story of The Last Showgirl is Anderson plays Shelley, a Las Vegas showgirl who faces a major turning point in her life following the announcement that the show she was performed in for 30 years is going to close.
What do you do after stripping, really?
Okay, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, Brenda Song's in it, Karen Shipka, Dave Bautista, and Jamie Lee Curtis.
That sounds fucking amazing. It really does.
Yeah, it does. I'm down for that. I hope she gets like award, and then they got.
I mean, yeah, Dave Bautista. I'm out for it, really.
Like literally, I want her to get an award for this, and then they have to go back and give her an award for Barbed Wire.
So we actually reviewed the Barbed Wire comic on source material, and we did the Barbed Wire movie on Trial. Let me tell you, 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
5 stars.
5 stars. 5 stars.
10. It's a 10.
Yeah, see, what an amazing movie Barbed Wire is.
Talking about remakes that we all love, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is getting a freshly new reboot.
Why?
And
it's weird they're making movies and reboots about stuff that we kind of liked,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead is going to be playing the awesome mother part of the good old movie.
Cool, I guess.
Look, if we're gonna do this, can Neil? Can you and I get together with my buddy Dorian, who is an actual film director? He has a production company. Like, can we just start redoing like old '80s hardbody movies? Like, can we get some Hamburger the movie, Hot Dog the movie, Joysticks, 10?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do a remake of Blame It on Rio. Let's do it all. I need a more gratuitous tits and ass remake a-thon.
Gosh, I mean, I'm there for you. I can definitely be the model.
Sure.
So Challengers, if you remember earlier this year, good old Zendaya movie, is going to be doing the way of they're going to be doing the way of the bear, and they're going to be throwing their name in the category of comedy musical group.
It was not a comedy nor a musical.
I know, neither was the bear, and they won for a comedy musical for the Golden Globes.
This is for Golden Globes. Really?
Yeah, so they're throwing their name in the Golden Globes comedy musical category. Should this be allowed?
Can we submit this show then for comedy or musical at the Golden Globes?
I guess so.
Because by those rules, anything goes.
We do have music. Yeah, we do have music. So, but
Chris is like, well, technically.
Well, technically, we have.
First of all, challenges sucked. I'm already on record as saying that it shouldn't win anything. But submitting it for comedy or musical, I hope it wins. I hope it wins because life shouldn't make any sense at all, and everything should be left.
None. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it looks like a Henry Cavill is going to be going to his new franchise. He is now going to be a part of the Voltron live action movie.
Good. I think he'll make. Okay. I think he'll do really well with that role. The animated Voltron series that was on Netflix was fucking superb.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I have yet to see Voltron mishandled, so I hope they don't fuck it up. And Henry Cavill is one of those, like, he's one of us kind of guys. Like, you know, the guy plays Dungeons and Dragons, and he's, you know, when anything that he puts his name on, he is invested in and wanting to make sure. Like, I really feel bad what they did with him with The Witcher, and I don't feel bad for a lot of these people, but like, he genuinely poured his heart and soul into The Witcher and wanted it to be a reflection of the IP itself, and, you know, do good by the fans. And like, just, he had a run of bad luck, got ousted from The Witcher, and now it sucks. And I feel bad for him. So, you know, if he can't be Superman, who I have a friend of mine who thinks he's the best Superman ever, better than Christopher Reeve, and he was the best Superman in the worst movies, which is
yes, that's the same thing with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck was a great Batman, just in the worst movies ever. He looked like Batman. That's what Batman should look like, a big linebacker looking son bitch.
Well, yeah, like I said, if you want to get the Ben Affleck iteration of Batman is the best, like, Frank Miller version of Batman there's been. And that's what they were going for. They achieved it. So as far as him being in Voltron, unlike a lot of things out there, that at least gives me hope.
And last but not least, this is the new one. Everybody, the new Karate Kid movie got its name, and it is Karate Kid Legends. So that indicates that probably they're just going to have everybody come in that was in Cobra Kai. Hillary Swank should probably jump. Isn't she in there?
Oh yeah, she was like the Karate Kid, the next generation or some shit.
Because Jackie Chan's supposed to be in it somewhere too. In this.
All right,
one.
So hang on. This is
how it name.
So, the
name
Karate
sounds
Kid
like. Go ahead. Sorry.
I got you. It sounds like a con. You know, like the Karate Kid convention. But the first three, it's Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita. Then there was the Karate Kid, the Next Generation. That's the one with Hilary Swank and Pat Morita. Then there was the one with Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan, and that's just the Karate Kid. It was a remake.
Yeah.
Karate Kid Legends sounds like a animated series for all the Karate Kid movies that came out like 85. You know, like that's what it sounds like. I mean, I guess I'm excited.
They all drive like giant lions and shit.
Man, so literally, I you know, you started. Go ahead, bud. I don't know why your timing is off so much today. Okay.
I don't know, man. It's not me.
Because me and Mark can go back and forth, and we're on time.
Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, I'll just close up.
Yeah, you better boost your Wi-Fi. You something.
Yeah, his connection's shit today. That's part of the problem.
You know what's weird?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're in Florida, you're going through like you just got your Wi-Fi back, and his connection in Kansas is worse.
Yeah, he's like recording you with a Dixie cup and fucking string.
Yeah, it's like, go turn off whatever streaming platforms you have going on right now, buddy.
Beat your hamster, make it run faster.
Beat your hamster. Beat your hamster. Dude, they announced both of the Green Lanterns for the. You're gonna watch the Lantern series. It's gonna have Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in it.
Probably. I'll check it out. I haven't checked out the Penguin yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Yes, I know. I mean, my wife never watched Batman, and so we're like halfway through Batman because she falls asleep, during movies all the time.
She's a girl. Girls just want to have fun. I understand.
And so as soon as we get done with that, we're going to watch the Penguin series. I haven't watched.
I have time. I'm in the middle of. It's unfortunately a lot of times all I have time to watch is movies that shows that I'm reviewing. So like I have to finish Ash vs. Evil Dead season 2, and then there's speaking of Bruce Campbell, there's a show on Peacock called Hysteria, which takes place during the Satanic Panic of the 80s, and I'm actually going to review that. With
nice. What is it?
Yeah, Hysteria.
I'm definitely going to write that down. All right.
Because we love the Satanic Panic, yeah.
Yeah, it's a horror comedy about the Satanic Panic of the 80s, and I'm just like, I'm trying to not take on new shows and new projects, but when Alexis pitched that to me, I'm like, I can't say no to that. Not as a metalhead.
Who can? All right, the last one I'm going to report on for today is, I just had it. There it is. The one, the only. Extraction's Sam Hargrave is adapting a video game because video games are now making money as movies. And this one, though, I am not, like, I actually want to see this one. He is going to be doing Shinobi.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's interesting.
Right? Like, out of all the video games, that's the one that I'm like, no, that makes sense. That kind of makes sense. Yeah. Because, you know, action movie, ninja running around with katanas cutting people's heads
Didn't we
off.
already have enough of this with the Snake Eyes movie?
That is, I didn't even think about that movie. I forgot that existed.
That was my son's favorite movie of that year. Of course, he was like 7 at the time.
Of course, yeah.
Man, so it seems like that he's going to be going into the origin of it. So I think he's going to go like in more of the old, like the older, not the older, I mean the Shinobi movie, the games that were like on Xbox.
Here's my riddle me this, Batman. What the fuck is this movie for? Nobody under the age of 40 knows what the fuck a Shinobi is.
No, that's who it's for. People over the age of 40. That's who it is for. Everyone who's still clutching onto that stuff. Which everyone here is, but
it's for over 30 white males that do podcasts. That's who it's for.
Oh, good, very neat.
And also,
do not put this in theaters. Go right to Netflix.
So is that all you got for us?
That's all we got today, guys, because let's get to the movie we all want to talk about. The great legend that is known as Joker.
Right,
that was The Movies Don't Suck and Some Then Movies. I told them a bunch of stuff because they can't read, and neither can Mark because a hurricane took his computer.
All right, let's talk this movie.
How am I doing this?
This is a Joker Folie A Deux, directed by Todd Phillips. You guys know Todd Phillips? Old school and fucking the Hangover movies. That's
yep.
And the original Joker. This stars Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck.
You have a problem with Thomas Wayne?
Yes, I do.
Lady Gaga as Lee Hinsel or Harley Quinn.
I don't consider myself a particularly ethical person.
Brendan Gleeson as Jackie Sullivan.
I just have this tremendous sense of time slipping away in me.
Catherine Keener as Marianne Stewart.
Ride a bike because I like to. Einstein rode a bike.
He had a wife who he fucked, by the way.
This also has people from the first one, like Zazie Beetz as Sophie Dumont, Lee Gill as Gary Puddles. This also stars Steve Coogan as Patty Myers, Harry Lottie as Howard V. Dent, and that's really all anyone cares about. Let's go in the storyline for Joker Folie A Deux.
Struggling with his dual identity, failed comedian Arthur Fleck meets the love of his life, Harley Quinn, while incarcerated at Arkham State Hospital.
So what Todd Phillips did with this movie is he took everything that everyone liked with the first one and just took it out. That's what he did.
I know, because that's what the point of this movie was. That what it was. It was supposed to piss you off. It was supposed to make you know that he is not Joker. He was never Joker. He was Arthur Fleck. He was never going to be the Joker. And because of that, that's what pissed off every reviewer, and I fucking love it for it.
Well, Neil, that doesn't change the movie. The movie sucks. Like, you can go ahead and be like,
great.
Oh, yeah, he was... No, hold on.
No,
hold
it's
on,
art.
Hold on, Neil.
Don't get the artistic point of it at this point, then.
No. there is something to be said for Todd Phillips trying something new and trying to piss everyone off, but there has to be a good movie in there at the same time. And this is not.
There is.
Not by a long.
It's an amazing movie.
No, just because he has
fucking way.
Are you fucking with me? Really? You
Best Joker by far. By the only Joker better than this is Jack Nicholson.
You're fucking with me, right? Like there's no way you like this movie.
I love it. This movie was made to make you not like the character anymore, to not like the freaking people in the movie, and they made it very clear that he's not Joker, that he is Arthur Fleck. It made it very clear that this is not the real Joker. This is not the real Harley Quinn. This is all bullshit, imaginary bullshit, and it was made to piss off every critic, just like it's pissing me off.
Judge Radulich would
Neil,
stop.
Okay.
First of all, girls, you're both pretty. Okay? And you're both right.
All right.
Here's why.
Thank you.
One, and let me get this out, Neil. It's not a well-made movie. It's entertaining in parts. It's well acted, but it's not a well-made movie. There are giant pacing issues with it. There are narrative beats that are supposed to move the plot forward that don't. It has kind of a tragic ending in that at the end your protagonist decides, I don't want to be this anymore, and then gives up. And then there's an entire next 20 minutes of the movie that don't really track with the rest of it. So we have some lacking of narrative cohesion. The only character in this movie that makes any degree of sense and is stable from beginning to end, in that we know exactly what this character wants, what her motivations are, and everything else, is Harley Quinn. She is exactly what she needed to be from the beginning to the end of the movie. However, you're not wrong, Neil. The movie absolutely was Todd Phillips angry that 5 years ago, a large contingent of agitated men who were kind of suffering in the wake of Me Too and the advent of gender-swapped lead roles in action movies and a whole list of other things. This movie felt like it was speaking for them. Then COVID happened and none of it mattered anymore. But back in 2019, men were pissed. And in some cases, rightly so. A lot of men were feeling like, we have no voice. We can't raise objections. We are being mistreated, and all because, at this point in time, women are taking a stand against absolutely unfair things and bad things. But that painting all men with a negative brush was not the way to go about it, and that's how a lot of men felt. And then comes the Joker, who's speaking for a lot of those men.
Right.
And Todd Phillips was like, that's not what I meant. Like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
It was Rob's point of like, it's like somebody showed, or Sean's point, somebody showed Todd Phillips Reddit and went, oh no, I didn't mean to do this.
No!
And so,
what have I done?
Wait, hang on. I'm going somewhere with this. And so Warner Brothers hands him a $200 million check and says, make us a sequel to this giant blockbuster, this Avengers level blockbuster. And he goes, Lana Wachowski really had something when Warner Brothers gave her $200 million and said, make us a blockbuster. It's like, I would rather really work through my trauma with the death of my parents. Is that okay? Ugh.
Right.
I don't want to get into that. But my point is, he goes, I'm going to take this $200 million check and make a middle finger, a 2.5-hour middle finger to every man who liked my 2019 Joker and say, you took the wrong messages, you idiots. So here's my response to you. Here's my diss track. Here's my retort of everything you liked about this, everything that you think I was speaking for you. I'm not, fuck you.
Yeah.
And in that, it was extremely successful, and it's awesome.
And that's
all
why
three of us like that about this movie. But okay. So you're right that the most insufferable thing about Joker was its rabid fan base. I thought the movie was good. I like Joker, but having then the shit that people are like, Arthur's voice speaks for me. I'm like, what in the actual fuck? So when this came out, I was already kind of dreading it. right? And then they came through. And I was like, okay, Todd Phillips did something where he says, "I'm going to make a movie so they won't give me another $200 million to make a third Joker movie and to say fuck you to people
Todd
like
Phillips will never work in major
right?
Hollywood studio again. Back to the art house with him.
Yeah, which is fine
to
by
me.
me. Like,
Okay.
but go ahead, Neil.
Now, 100%. Let's get Joaquin Phoenix's thoughts on this. Right here, he is talking to the lovely Lady Gaga and tells her it is a horrible movie when the two of them are sitting there watching it in the premiere. And she's like, no, it's awesome. And it's like, I don't think it was. Like the lip reader read this when of the two of them. Now, yes, is timing of this movie. There's some timing issues on it. There's definitely it felt weird at like certain parts of it didn't feel like it went together at all and stuff like that. It
was upsetting to watch after we saw Megalopolis. Like I was like, I wanted
not as upsetting as Heath Ledger's Joker, but just about as bad. That
you need to calm the fuck down about that. This is so the songs were fine, but they're not memorable. Like if you want to make a musical, make the songs good, and this was just fine. But I do what I did like.
Dude, the Harley Quinn album. I've been listening to it for the last week, dude.
Are you fucking mind?
No, dude, I love it. Like seriously, what's wrong with you? Why can't you let people enjoy music?
It feels like the kind of music you would get on like American Bandstand or like the Dick Van Dyke, that kind of a thing.
Right.
In like the late 70s, early 80s. I think I said on our review, the music feels like it came right off one of those like sketch comedy or like no, not sketch comedy. Those shows where they do like different acts.
Variety shows.
Thank you. Yeah. It's from a late 70s, early 80s variety show. Sure.
But I love the aspect of it that like you don't even know if like half it actually happened or if it was like his own fantasy in this movie. Like there's certain scenes that I don't know if that really happened or if it's him being inside his mind. Because like there's one where him and Harley Quinn are together in a jail cell. I don't want to go too much into ruining it or spoiling it. But then like right after
that scene is better than what she does with Adam Driver in House of Gucci, I'll tell you that. It's more believable.
Very more believable. But
anyway.
But then the next scene is like literally them talking to the girl from the first Joker, saying that most of his relationships or things are all in his head, that none of it was actual real.
Robert had a really keen observation that you see the Pepe Le Pew cartoon at the beginning of the movie, and then at the end you see it again, and he thinks that everything from the first time you see Pepe to the last time you see Pepe is all in Arthur's head. So what you see at the end of the movie is actually what happened, and none of the movie is real.
Wow, that made this movie even 10 times better.
Calm down with the better part of this, because
dude, this might beat Deadpool Wolverine. I mean, this is like literally one of my favorite.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if we come to the end of the year and this is even in your top 10. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
At the end of the year, when we come and do the top and his Joker, I will laugh my fucking ass off.
I lose my goddamn mind. But so I didn't enjoy this thing.
You're gonna be like, Neil, what are you taking? You're an asshole podcaster with his poor choices. You get what you deserve. Bang.
Yes. So
Chris
I didn't like this movie. Yeah, sorry. I didn't like this movie. I thought the pacing was terrible. I thought that I liked the idea that he was giving a finger to every incel who's jerking off in this room. This movie, that's cool, but that doesn't make a good movie.
Jesus Christ! Not every one of them was like an angry incel.
Yeah, and the thing is, the pacing could have been done on purpose to make it to make you seem like uncomfortable, but you can't realize exactly what's going on. Kind of make you like
I'm
Arthur
fine with
Fleck,
being
who is
uncomfortable,
and he not knowing what's going on.
Look, here's the thing.
I have no problem being
Todd
uncomfortable. Go ahead. Sorry.
Todd Phillips' thing about he's speaking through the Joker character, saying, I don't want you to see this guy as a symbol. I don't want you to like him. The idea was not to like him. And so having the Joker character, where he starts off with he's no longer the Joker, he's just Arthur, and then he meets Lady Gaga, and Lady Gaga is like, I only thing I liked about you was the Joker. So he gets back into it again, and then he cross-examines Puddles, and Puddles like, you scared the fuck out of me, pal. And he's like, oh, well, I don't feel good about any of this, and I don't want to do this anymore. I just want this woman. I just want to get out of here and start over again with this woman. And the woman's like, the only thing about you that I liked was being the Joker. And then, like, here's the thing: had the movie just ended there, had the movie just ended with Harley, there's rumors going around the original ending is Harley kills him and takes over being the Joker, which is a much better ending, and it would have improved the movie 100 times. It also would have caused rioting.
The ending,
okay? like 20 years ago, 20 years ago, or 20 years from now, do that ending, and you don't quite have like the critical drinker-esque audience out there that is about stick of women taking over male-dominated roles, so you can get away with it. Right now, you can't have Harley Quinn taking over as the Joker. People will burn the theater down. But it goes to what it would have made the story make more sense. This was about him going, I never wanted any of this. Like, if you think about what he says to Murray in the first one, that clip you played was actually like brilliant, because he's like, because I can hear myself say the same thing. Like, have you been outside lately? People are indecent to each other. People hate each other, and it's like you just can't get through your day anymore without people tearing you down and acting like animals. Preach, brother. So like, he didn't want to be a symbol. He was just like, he got pushed into this when his moral compass, his civilizing pillars, and his social contracts were all destroyed in the first movie. That's what came out of him. So when we meet him here, he's like, yeah, I don't want any of this. And then Lady Gaga is like, no, this is the best thing about you. And he's like, okay. And he's rolling with it. And then he confronts Puddles, and Puddles is like, I don't care that you let me live. You might as well have killed me. I died that day. I died in that apartment along with Slappy because you scared me so badly.
Right.
I couldn't handle it anymore, and I don't sleep anymore, and this isn't a life worth living. And then he's like, and then the guards gang rape him. Sorry. And like, well, I don't really want to be this anymore. This isn't worth it. And then, like, well, at least I still have this woman who loves me, and then she doesn't. That's it. That's your whole movie. The fact this goes on for another 20 minutes bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah, I think like literally at that point, I think that should have been the cutoff of that movie. On top of that, I was just thinking about this, since it is a reflection on trying to get everybody pissed off, the people that love the first one and try to get rid of that toxic masculinity going on. Do you think that's why they created it to be a musical? Because, toxic males don't like musicals.
Oh yeah, they sat down with a list. It was like Eric Bischoff on making Nitro. How many ways could I be pissed off the white male angry fan base? Well, for step one, musical.
Yeah,
which was the best part of this movie.
They picked two things that they didn't like and they put together.
The musical numbers in this were awesome.
I thought they didn't move the story along at all. It didn't bother me that much. It broke down the pacing. I didn't like the courtroom drama with what the fuck is going on? I don't feel betrayed by this movie. I didn't really have a deep connection to the first one. I'm just kind of upset I spent 2 hours and 18 minutes watching it.
I love the fact that this movie 100% said, hey, guess what? This was never the real Joker. Fuck the Joker. Fuck you thinking the Joker's cool. Fuck you all. Fuck you all. Right all to hell. And I love the fact of that, because now I know 100% this is not my Joker. But it was a good movie just because of what it did.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say on this, and then I'm done. I'm done talking about this movie forever. Warner Brothers should sue Todd Phillips. They should absolutely sue that man. This movie is a dereliction of duty. It has nothing to do with my personal taste in the movie. I told you, like my daughter liked it. She was entertained. I was entertained. My son thought it was the worst thing he'd ever seen. Smart boy. My thing is, like I said about Lana Wachowski and The Matrix Reborn or whatever the fuck the name of the movie was called. If I tell Neil, here's $200 million, go make me a crowd-pleasing winner, and he brings back 5 hours of him scolding Chris and Chris crying, I'm suing. I will sue. That is not what I asked for. That is a breach of contract.
Yeah.
Todd Phillips, they don't. Nobody understands, seemingly, with who has any power in Hollywood, why Joker was as popular as it was, why it resonated with the crowd that it did. And Chris, you can say all day long, like, oh, incels. That I guess I'm an incel because it resonated with me too. I sat in my car after that, and I talked about this publicly, so it's not like this is news. But I left that movie and went out to my car and openly sobbed, like full body heaving sobs. And the reason why was I could absolutely see myself becoming someone like that if you took everything away, like fucking Job. If you take everything away from me, and I have nothing to cling to that civilizes me, that there's no moral rock for me to cling to. Yeah, I would be that guy. And I don't like that about myself. I don't like that about anybody. But I especially don't like that deep inside is this angry, raging, tragic, sad person that could lash out violently against people. And that's in more people than you think. And that's what the movie was talking about. That, like, we can't continue to tear each other down. We're going to create feral animals out of the civilization.
But that's definitely what Todd Phillips wanted with the first one to do to people. Was the way you reacted to it, and he didn't want to give an army of people who really resonated with Arthur the way he was in this. Instead of saying, I'm glad I'm not that way. But my
only counterpoint to that is, if you listen to, for what this is worth, if you listen to Andre from Midnight's Edge talk about the Joker symbol, like, people were using it in protests, but they were like protesting what they felt like deaf governments that were not listening to its people. Government, in situations around the world, in South America, Europe, what have you, where they felt like we as a people don't have a voice, and the government is just being capricious and doing things that are hurting the people. And so, like, there were protests with the Joker masks on, kind of saying, like, no, like, we're people and you're hurting us. You're not working for us. That's not how this is supposed to go. So again, I think it's a little, and I'm not picking at you, but I think it's short shrift to be like, oh, angry incels. Like, that's one part of the group. And that's what Todd Phillips lost his fucking mind about, which brings me back to sue his ass, Warner Brothers.
So this is the thing I gotta say about this, my final thought about this, right here next to me, I have literally thousands of dollars in Joker comic books, some of the most original. Like, I mean, here's the original 1975 Joker comic that came out, like, in the original. I have the first appearance of Harley Quinn right here.
Keep going, but hang on.
But see, all this stuff right here. And this movie, well, dang it, I wanted him to be a part of the point. I don't know if he can even hear me. What happened?
He might be able to. He said, hold on.
I don't know if he can hear me. I know. Oh my gosh. All right. He had to get, oh, wait a minute. Is he getting attacked by another hurricane? Everybody, Mark may be getting attacked by his third hurricane right now. The state of Florida probably have a weather. Let's see. Is there weather? What's the weather in Florida right now? Okay. So, Mark, are you being attacked by your third hurricane now? Was that your third hurricane? Oh, nice. I have that too. Not here. Oh yeah, I got the entire Joker War series right here. Yeah, I got the entire Joker War series right here. Oh yeah, got that one too. Yeah, see, good job.
I also have the Brian Azzarello Joker book.
But so this is what my point is. I have all this right here that tells me what the Joker is like in the comic books. And not either one of these movies had anything to do with anything Joker ever. I've read all these comic books more than once in my life, more than 100 times probably. And Todd Phillips' Joker has nothing to do with any of it except for he has a painted face. Like, and that's it. That's not even Joker. If your skin's not bleached, you're not Joker.
I said at the time when we reviewed it in 2019, Joker is a great movie that has nothing to do with the character.
Exactly. And that's what I love most about this second movie is that it totally still has nothing to absolutely do with anything comic book whatsoever.
And that's, I mean, that is a valid thing to like about this. That it basically says to anyone who loved the character and related to the character on that way, go fuck yourself. Like this isn't what you want. and you know,
like I mean, if we're gonna put them in order, yeah, like right here, this is an order of how I like the Jokers. You know, Jack Nicholson first, Mark Hamill is like tied. Then you got Jared Leto, who did a great job. Then Joaquin Phoenix, and all the way over at the side, there's Mr. Heath Ledger. Who cares about that one?
Did you read the Three Jokers book? Because we
I have it right here.
One of the things I love about Three Jokers, it's terrible, by the way, but one of the things I liked about the concept of the Three Jokers was the idea that Joker is not the same Joker over time, in the sense of there was the goofy kind of Silver Age Joker who robbed banks, but he robbed banks, you know, dressed as a court jester. There's the like criminal mastermind Joker. Then you have like the more killing jokish Joker of he is chaotic evil and he just exists to fuck with Batman. And you know, it's the same Joker that they have in the Injustice story,
like that one,
where it's like I've run out of ideas fucking with Batman. This gets me nowhere. I am the Joker in Injustice is like that girlfriend who breaks up with you because you're not challenging enough. Just like,
I know, right?
Like I'm gonna go date this other asshole because that'll ignite my fire. That one might rough me up a bit.
He might beat me.
Yeah. So there's that, and then there's the lunatic Joker. If I remember correctly, there was the gangster Joker. There was the
gangster Joker. The lunatic is kind of like the stand-up comedian one.
Yeah,
that kind of went nuts. Yeah,
yeah. My point is, like, I like the idea that I know you hate Heath Ledger's Joker, and you can be wrong, but like, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker, you know, is an interpretation of the Joker, and I think it works. I like the idea that he's the chaotic evil one of like what he says to Batman in The Dark Knight, I think is brilliant. He was I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do if I caught it. You know, he's like, I want to see what you'll do. He's like, you killed half a dozen people trying to get me to this point. I want to see what you'll do next. That's to me the Joker.
It's very Joker.
But you could also have the Jack Nicholson Joker, who's the more gangstery Joker.
Yep.
You know, you can have Mark Hamill's Joker from, you know, Batman the Animated Series, which every person who didn't get past the age of 13 mentally seems to enjoy. You know, and I also I liked Jared Leto's interpretation of the Joker. He again, great Joker in all the wrong movies.
Yes.
You know, the kid who played the Joker on Gotham actually wasn't bad either.
Oh no, yeah, I loved him. The guy, he's also the guy who plays on Jedi Survivor, the video game.
Okay.
He's the Cal. That's the same guy.
So, like,
and maybe
the idea that this
maybe Barry Keoghan will be a better
Joker
coming up.
Ugh.
So,
stop making those movies. No, my only other thing is just because you brought it up was I don't mind this interpretation of the Joker of somebody who got pushed past the breaking point and out came, you know, he was already a mentally ill person, and then you broke everything around him, and this is what came out. And I said at the time, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face, not that it matters anymore, they should have never have done a sequel to it. You got lucky that thing made $1 billion because it was lightning in a bottle. You released it at the right time with the right audience right before the world ended. Do not do this again. And Lizard Brain, la, 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 make us, and here we are.
Which we got a great album from it, at least.
Super.
I mean, how many other tracks did you listen to on the Harley Quinn album, Chris?
I didn't listen to it because I know the music in it. I knew that I watched it and know the music in it.
You can't review the movie if you don't know the music behind it, man.
That's complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. But Neil, what's your score in this? And be fucking honest with me.
I'd say about a 3.9. Like, literally, I liked it, but it wasn't like, it didn't change the world for me. I just knew if I told you I liked it, that you're going to get more and more pissed off. So I loved firing that fuel today. But to be honest, like, by the end of it, it was, I still love the fact that it just basically says that the Joker never existed. I love that whole story of this movie. And I love that they added music just to piss people off. And like, I love everything about how this movie and why this movie was made. But I have to agree the pacing issues are bad. With Mark, I have to agree the last 20 minutes of the movie shouldn't even existed. Like, it's like you should just cut it off and it'd have been great. We could have been fine.
Honestly, they had Harley just kill him on the steps and the cops and then fade to black and all you hear are the sirens.
Yep. Boom. We're done. We should make Hollywood movies, man.
Hot Dog the movie, Hamburger the movie. Neil, can we get together a Nude Nuns with Big Guns remake?
Oh my gosh! A Nude Nuns with Big Guns. I totally forgot that movie existed.
I'm gonna bring it every podcast.
3.9. I love that. I still would love to see a Joker movie at some point. At some point, can we have Joker in a movie?
This is 2.6. The only thing I like about it is what it did to the people that wanted to like it. You know, they wanted this to be the first one.
Who bullied you?
I didn't like the movie. I think it was well made, but like again, it's
show us on the doll where they touched you.
Jesus.
But again, I still sure this is.
Here's me dancing on the line. Here's Neil pushing me over it.
Yeah, I stopped short of giving you the STD tag because it did what it did to the people that really were looking forward to this thing. Other than that, I thought it wasn't that well made. So Joker Folie A Deux.
I give it a solid. I give it a solid meh. Like I said, I was entertained in parts, but at the end of it, I also pulled my son to the side and be like, "Oh my god, that's 2.5 hours of my life I want back."
All right, I'm on RunSales.com. What's the score by the audience?
Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. I had to mute myself. I'm just coughed my lung out.
Just cough it like I do.
But anyway, audience score on this is definitely going to be 45%.
32%, lower than you thought it'd be.
That's higher than I thought it was. I thought it was like a 1.
All right, Neil, what's the critic score on Joker?
97%.
32%. Here's the critics' consensus.
What was it? I didn't even hear you.
33. 33.
Nobody liked this movie. The critics hated it, and the audience hated it.
So critics' consensus is Joaquin Phoenix upon this Joker takes a stand in a sequel that dances around while the story remains still. Although Lady Gaga's wildcard energy gives Folie A Deux some verve. And there's actually audiences in this one too. Audience says a broken Joker and his lady's voice provide Folie A Deux enough kindling to keep a tepid fire burning for the clown prince of crime. We'll read a good review and a bad review. This is from Margot Harrison of 7 Days. She goes, "The Joker's a story of grinding and miserableism, livened by a few scenes of joyful violence." And this is from let's find that one. There's no fat guy in the movies in this one, is there? So Adam Kempenaar of Film Spotting says, dramatically inert, devoting 130 very deliberate minutes to revealing what was undeniable from the first film. 2 out of 5. So I thought it was unfocused. I just thought it was kind of pointless to have. Like, the second one should never be made, and the second one proves it. But whatever. So Mark gives it a meh. I give it a 2.6. Neil gives it a 3.9. Whatever. Yeah, that's good. Neil, what are we watching next week?
Next week we are doing, of course, Terrifier 3. We have to do Terrifier 3. There's no way we can't do. I was literally at a haunted house this past Friday called the Castle Muskogee Spooky House. It's one of the best things I ever seen. Jester's Revenge was like 3D, the whole thing. Like you put 3D glass. Oh, dude, it was awesome. Anyway, one waiting in line, this guy goes, there is a scene at the beginning of Terrifier 3 that is making people so nauseous they are throwing up in the theater. And I was like, I've only heard that about like every other horror movie since I was like 10. So I go, I hope this one's true though. I want one that's so nauseous that it's gonna make.
I think you should skip Terrifier 3. I feel like that's low hanging fruit. I think what the fans want from you is piece by piece.
What's Piece by Piece?
It's that Pharrell movie, that Lego Pharrell movie.
The Lego Pharrell musical.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
so they made a movie about Pharrell's life, but they decided to do it
out of Legos.
Yes.
What?
That's
How did I miss this?
It's I don't know. I just don't know who it's made for. You know, but
I don't know. But I'm taking my kids this weekend.
Nice. I mean, it's for people that like
and then I could come on here and talk about it if you guys are doing it.
I hear it's good, but we got me and Neil are going to be watching the Low Hanging Fruit Terrifier 3 and talking about VHS Beyond as well, which is
VHS is one of our favorite series. We've reviewed pretty much every VHS since like VHS 2 , I think.
I feel like Chris is doing this because he doesn't want me on this podcast anymore.
No, I want you on here, man.
No, I always want those movies.
It's Halloween time, bro. We do the horror movies during the month of October.
You got to do Salem's Lot?
No, Chris hates Salem's Lot, and he doesn't want me to do it.
No, I don't hate Salem's Lot. That's what
he said. He hates everything Stephen King. He can't.
No, that's probably my favorite Stephen King book.
Well, I think Alexis is doing a triple feature of Apartment 7A, Salem's Lot, and then I think it's like Mr. Grindel's World or Croc.
We did Apartment 7A. We did Apartment 7A already.
How was Apartment 7A?
It was. There was no need for it. It was just Rosemary's Baby, but instead of her being a married mother or married wife,
it was like the same shit. It
was literally almost verbatim the same exact movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I think you should do piece by piece. I'm just saying. I will see it this Sunday, and I will be prepared to come on here and talk about it if you want.
Maybe we should just do an episode of just that movie.
Just do a whole thing of Lego movies, all the Lego movies.
All the Lego. Oh man,
God knows I've seen them all.
I've not seen Ninjago. But
I took Jonas to see Ninjago when that came out. But let me tell you how I took the whole family to see the Batman Lego movie, and I fucking laughed my ass off.
Oh, that movie's so great.
That's solidly my favorite Batman movie of all time.
I have actually a story. A friend of mine named Garen met Will Arnett just a couple weeks ago when they were in New York, right? And he goes to Will Arnett. He goes, "Dude, you're my favorite Batman." He goes, "It must have hurt all those, all those." Gosh dang it! All the stunts you had to do had to hurt so bad. And Will Arnett laughed his ass off at the joke. Because he's like, it's funny because he's Lego.
My favorite thing is that Doug Benson did Bane's voice, which he did on his podcast for like years, and so he finally got to do it on the movie. I was happy for that.
And the third best Joker, it's Zach Galifianakis fucking Joker.
Yeah, but that one's another one that's just fucking with Batman the whole time. I love the fact that like essentially Joker and Batman have like a gay pseudo romance. It's awesome. It's perfect. But I remember like the very first time I saw that movie, I saw it with my kids and the ex-wife, and they do the bit with all of Batman's rogues gallery and how stupid it is. And I'm howling in the movie that like Melissa didn't get it. She wasn't like a huge Batman fan. She came because she's the mother of my 2 kids, and we went as a family. I'm fucking crying. My kids don't really understand why I'm laughing. Melissa's looking at me like, "You're so loud," and I'm like, meanwhile, like loud guffaws, tears coming out of my eyes. Like, we got to Condiment King, and I think I shit my pants. It's so good. So yeah, piece by piece. I'm just saying, it's what the fans want.
We'll think about it. You guys find us online at moviesdon'tsuck.net. We're at facebook.com/moviesdon'tsuck podcast. We're at XNZ Podcast. We're on Instagram at Dude Podcast. We're at w2mnet.com. w2mnet. You'll find us there along with a bunch of the really cool podcasts. We're at patreon.com/moviesdon'tsuck. You guys want to find shirts, go to Blackwood Productions at TeePublic. You'll find this design of shirts and other stuff. And if you guys don't like TeePublic, go to Bonfire.com, so Movies Don't Suck and Some They Do. There's some stuff there. And where you find podcasts, Movies Don't Suck and Some They Do. Mark, why don't you give us your deets so you can tell everyone where to find you?
Well, there was a hurricane, so I'm behind on everything. However, you can find all of our live video on W2Mnet on YouTube. I'm at Mark Radulich on TikTok. So you can find clips of this show, and you guys send it to me. Send me the video. But you can also find clips of other podcasts that I do on W2Mnet Network on YouTube. Our landing page is w2mnet.com. If you're on traditional audio, you actually listen to actual podcasts and not video through Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It's Radulich and Broadcasting Network. That's Radulich. We did Joker a week ago Monday, and then I was living in a jail. So this week, so we're back on track this week. We will have our triple feature of Blame It on Rio, LOL, and Woman in Red, starring Gene Wilder. And then on Tuesday, and then on Tuesday we've got Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2. So, and then Alexis allegedly will be doing a triple feature of Apartment 7A, Salem's Lot, and Mr. What the fuck is this? Mr. Crockett's World. That's what she's told me.
Okay.
So that's what's going on the Radulich Broadcasting Network.
All right, Neil, what are your small businesses here?
If you got a small business, let us know. Email us, message us, tattoo it on somebody's head, and throw their head at us, and we can read and make sure to advertise you to our thousands of listeners or millions of followers right here at Movies Don't Suck and Some They Do.
Are you guys ready to get here?
Let's get out of here. That's another episode of Movies Don't Suck and Some Do. My name's Neil.
And I'm Chris.
I'm dancing.
And remember, guys, no matter how hard life comes, remember, running up and down, dancing on stairs will always make it look better. Have a good day.